States is over. The United States is over. Um, all you need to do is take a look at my channel if you have any doubt as to whether or not the United States is over, and you will realize that the United States is over. Now, I've done everything I'm obligated to do, and then some. I've done everything I'm obligated to do, and then some, as a person that has been mistreated by the world their entire lives. As someone who has been mistreated by the world their entire lives, I've done everything I should do, and then some, because I'm not obligated to lift a finger for the United States, given the many ways in which the United States has betrayed, and the world has betrayed me, for that matter. United States, for the people of the United States. I don't owe the people of the United States anything. I don't owe the robber barons that call themselves the wealthy of the United States anything. In my opinion, well, it's not my opinion, it is a fact that the citizens of the world, okay, the citizens of the world owe me personally paying me to not work. The citizens of the world owe me being paid not to work. And that is a fact. It is a fact that the citizens of the world owe me being paid not to work. And I told you that others were going to suffer. I was not compensated for the wrongdoings that the world has done to me. I informed you that others would suffer, and the amount of others that would suffer would increase if I am not paid to not work. And you saw others suffered. As a result, many others have suffered. We're up to like 2,500, but those in my immediate area also suffer for me not being paid to not work. So, because you are paying many others to not work, but not me, after doing the wrongdoings that the world has done to me, you thought this was going to not result in others being affected, but you were mistaken. You were mistaken in your belief that I would not do unto others as you have done to me, and you were mistaken. And we're up to over 2,500 people via VR boxing, but we're up to many people in my immediate area also being hassled by Francis Hassel as a result of you paying other people to not work, but not paying me to not work. So we're going to pay me to not work. This is how this is going to go down. How this is going to go down is we're going to pay me to not work. Otherwise, Francis Hassel is going to hassle as many people as Francis Hassel can within reason and ramification-free manners. Francis Hassel, ramification-free manners for Francis Hassel Francis Hassel is going to hassle as many people as Francis Hassel can until you pay me to not work, because you're paying other people to not work, but you're not paying me to not work. And we're going to pay me to not work because of the wrongdoings that the world has done to me. We're going to pay me to not work instead of paying everyone else to not work. There's zero reason that people like Hypocrite should be getting paid to not work while I'm not getting paid to not work. People like Hypocrite should not be getting paid to not work while I'm not getting paid to not work. After all the wrongdoings that the world has done to me, I am owed being paid to not work. If we're paying people to not work as a world, as a global society, if we're paying people to not work, then we're going to have to pay me to not work. Otherwise, this isn't going to work out. It's not going to work out for you as a world and as a global society if you're paying people to not work, but you're not paying me to not work. That's after the wrongdoings that the world has done to me in my lifetime. We're not going to pay people to not work, but not pay me to not work. Otherwise, that's not going to work out for all of you. Now, hopefully you've begun to realize that I'm not bullshitting you. Hopefully you're coming to realize that Francis Hassel is not bullshitting you in any way, shape, or form, and that we're going to pay me to not work if we're paying anyone to not work. Otherwise, no one is getting paid to not work without there being consequences for the world. Hopefully we're beginning to realize that. Hopefully we're beginning to realize that we're not going to have this two-tier justice system and this two-tier economy based on social credit. Hopefully we're beginning to realize that we're not going to erase the middle class in my lifetime. Hopefully we're beginning to realize that we're not going to erase the middle class in my lifetime without there being repercussions for the world in repercussion-free ways for me. Hopefully we're starting to realize that I'm going to inflict consequences on the world in ways that are repercussion-free for me. And that, what's it called? Yeah, well, you're beginning to see the consequences of that. So you can say no one's realizing that, but the people that are facing consequences for doing this are realizing it. So you're incorrect about that. There's been a ton of damage to the wealthy elite that has been done as a result of their attempts to pay other people to not work, but to pay me to not work. And the wealthy elite are going to continue to suffer repercussions for paying people to not work and paying me to not work until I get paid to not work. So what we're not going to do is we're not going to pay other people to not work and then not pay me to not work. That's not what's going to happen. And I'm going to continue to inflict repercussions on the wealthy elite and the world until I am paid to not work. And hopefully you're beginning to realize that I'm not bullshitting you. Hopefully you're beginning to realize that I'm going to do this to you in ways that are repercussion free for me, because I'm not going to be fucked over by your two-tier justice system and your two-tier economy that's based on social credit and bullshit like that. We're not going to do this without there being repercussions for you. We're not going to do this without there being repercussions for you. And hopefully you're beginning to realize that. But what's not going to happen is we're not going to pay other people to not work and then not pay me to not work. This isn't going to happen, and it's not going to happen in a way that's repercussion free for you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I was not bullshitting once when I told you that that was going to happen if you paid other people to not work and then didn't pay me to not work. I told you that if you paid other people to not work and then you didn't pay me to not work, that there was going to be repercussions. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you. But I told you that was going to happen. I told you that was going to happen, and hopefully you're finding out now. Hopefully you're finding out that I wasn't bullshitting you when I told you that that was going to happen. Hate to break it to you. Hate to break it to you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Brandon Q's a fucking pussy. Has Brandon Q made one correct false accusation about anyone ever? Has has Brandon Q made one false accusation about anyone ever that was even based on something that was correct? Like, I'm being genuine. I'm being so I'm being so genuine right now. Has Brandon Q made one accusation about anyone that he has a problem with ever that's correct? Like, I genuinely want to know at this point. The only thing that Brandon Q has ever said that is vaguely correct about someone ever is something that someone else said that the only time that Brandon Q has stumbled on correct information about someone is if it's something that someone else said, and if he also has a problem with that person, he'll recite it. But if he doesn't have anything that someone else said already about someone else, he just starts saying shit that isn't true about people that he has a problem with. Okay, so again, I asked the question: has Brandon Q ever himself come up with anything about someone that he has a problem with that is correct information? I genuinely want to know if Brandon Q has ever come up with one thing about someone else that wasn't something that someone else said that also has a problem with that person that's correct. I just want to know. I just want to know if Brandon Q has ever said one thing about a person that he has a problem with that is correct. Because I haven't seen him do it. I haven't seen him do it once. I've seen Brandon Q have a problem with a lot of people. I've never seen him on his own come up with something that wasn't a bold-faced fucking lie about someone that he has a problem with. He always comes up with the most bullshit accusation about any person that he has a problem with. It's always he sounds like a woman filing he sounds like a scorned woman filing a police report. Like, the way he comes up with accusations that aren't true. He comes up with accusations that aren't true, like a scorned woman filing a police report about someone that she had sex with. That's the levels of bullshit Brandon Q comes up with when he's saying something about someone that he has a problem with, but it's someone that no one else has ever had a problem with and said something correct about. So, like, if you ever hear Brandon Q talking about someone, and he's talking about someone that hasn't had anything truthful been said about them by people that has a problem with that person, you're about to hear Brandon Q say the most retarded lie that you've ever heard in your life, and it's gonna rival a scorned woman filing a police report about someone that she had sex with. If you are hearing Brandon Q talk about someone and there's no information out about that person that is factual, you're about to hear Brandon Q come up with a lie that rivals a scorned woman filing a police report. That's what's going to come out of Brandon Q's mouth, is like scorned woman filing a police report levels of bullshit lies. Number one, don't even try to fucking tell me. Don't even try to tell me. Don't even try to tell me that Social Security is universal basic income. Don't even try to tell me that. And number one, I'm not talking about universal basic income. I'm talking about you pay people like I'm a hypocrite to not work. Okay? You pay people like I hypocrite to not work. And you're not gonna pay people like I hypocrite to not work and sit here and spit on me for years and not give me a dime. I have the most goddamn VR boxing wins. Okay? We just saw I hypocrite. Okay? We just saw I hypocrite try to, oh look, it's Brandon Q. It's Brandon Q. Like I said, on right on time to spew. He might be talking to fucking what's it called, Tim Dooley. He's probably talking to Tim Dooley. But if he's talking to me, you're witnessing Brandon Q spew his scorned woman tier lies about how I'm supposedly a what's it called, PDF, even though there's no proof anywhere that I'm a PDF, and I don't talk to anyone because I'm busy maintaining the most VR boxing wins on top of doing shit like working 7 days a goddamn week. So this is exactly what I said Brandon Q does when there's no information that actually is a jab against someone out there. You're going to see Brandon Q spew false accusations like a scorned woman filing a police report trying to get someone arrested for false accusations. He's just swinging wildly and hoping he lands. And he does this because he can't dig up information about anyone that matters, and he wants to desperately be he's trying to be iDubbbz. Okay, this is the only way to say it that makes sense. He's trying to be iDubbbz. He's trying to be Mr. I can take down anyone that I want to on the internet, but he hasn't taken down one person on the internet successfully. And I'm like almost 1,000% sure that there's actual evidence out there that Brandon Q is a sex weirdo who's running around the internet trying to do things like be a vigilante pedophile hunter. He's tried to do pedophile stings before, but it's come out that he's a sex weirdo. So, if anything, this is straight up projection, which is hilarious. But on top of it, he does this to countless people. He does this to countless people where if there's nothing out there about them, because he can't come up with anything to say about people on his own. So if there's nothing out there about the person that is readily accessible for him that he can recite, he will just default to calling them a sex weirdo when it's been confirmed that he's a sex weirdo by some of the people that he's accused of being a sex weirdo on stream, and he was not able to refute it in any way, shape, or form. Yes, it is true. This is 100% true about Brandon Q. Brandon Q got confirmed to be a sex weirdo by Ganville on Victoria J's live stream. Brandon Q got confirmed, it's on my Rumble, to be a sex weirdo, a Discord diddler by Ganville on Victoria J's live stream. It happened live. It happened live, okay? And I'm pretty sure Ganville has confirmed that Brandon Q is a sex weirdo. On Brandon Q, there are people who have posted pictures of you spreading your ass in your own Discord, okay? Brandon Q, there are people who have posted pictures in your own Discord of you spreading your ass cheeks. Brandon Q, in your own Discord. They posted it in your own Discord, and it's like 1000% unmistakably you, and your face isn't even in the picture. Your face isn't even in the picture, and it's unmistakably you because it's dead ass in your fucking bedroom, and it's you laying sideways, butt naked, with your butt towards the camera, spreading your ass cheeks. Okay? You've never taken my job once, Brandon Q, because you're the most incompetent goddamn wannabe on the internet that I've ever seen, Brandon Q. You're the most goddamn incompetent wannabe that I've ever seen on the internet, and you will never in a million years do anything to anyone. What do you think this is, Brandon Q? What do you think this is? What do you think this is, Brandon Q? Hey, Brandon Q. Go stream yourself. Go stream yourself doing inappropriate shit to minors on random video chat websites again. Hey, Brandon Q. Stream yourself being a sex weirdo. Hey, Brandon Q. Stream yourself being a sex weirdo that tries to solicit inappropriate shit from minors on random video streaming websites on your own goddamn live stream, and then plug on your YouTube channel your own goddamn Discord that has pictures of you spreading your fucking ass cheeks in it, and then run around trying to call everyone else a sex weirdo that calls you out for being the fucking idiot you are on the internet. You goddamn idiot. You literally streamed yourself being a fucking sex weirdo on your own goddamn channel and on your own goddamn Discord that you plug on your own goddamn channel. You're spreading your fucking ass cheeks in the Discord and people are posting pictures of it. So, like, you're the furthest thing from someone that should be running around making false accusations at that about other people. That's 100% true. That's 1000% true about Brandon Q. That's why he runs around making baseless accusations about other people, is because he is that himself. What about her? What does Controlla have to do with anything? Wait, William Gloryhole. I've heard that name before. I've heard the name William Gloryhole before. Isn't William Gloryhole some kind of like... Well, number one, the only reason Tim Dooley is back is because he has not pissed me off yet. Because his Discord pissed me off in the past. Yeah, that's what I was figuring. I'm also like 90% sure. I'm also like 90% sure that Tim Dooley's Discord orchestrated Music Biz Marty's demise. So I'm like half appreciative for that, because I'm like 90% sure that people in Tim Dooley's Discord orchestrated Music Biz Marty's demise. And that's like, regardless of if they're assholes or not. I mean, you gotta admit Music Biz Marty was a tremendous asshole. You gotta admit that Music Biz Marty was a tremendous asshole. And I'm like 90% sure that Tim Dooley's Discord orchestrated his demise. You can say that. You can say that. But alright, well, number one, you're not famous. Brandon Q, I have bad news for you. Amaranth does not know who you are, Brandon Q. Brandon Q, Amaranth doesn't know who you are, and Kick is going to give you a deal because they want you to sell gambling. Kick is going to give you a deal because they want anyone who is willing to sell gambling for them to sell gambling for them. All right. At least IBL is here. At least IBL is here. So, you know, now we can talk about how Brandon Q spreads his ass cheeks in his own Discord that he plugs on his own YouTube channel. And we can talk about how he streamed himself trying to solicit inappropriate things from minors, and then wondered how he got exposed by Ganville on Victoria J's stream for being a sex weirdo. Look, I don't know, Brandon Q, how you got this idea that you're a celebrity. But Brandon Q, you are not a celebrity. I have unfortunate news for you, Brandon Q. Brandon Q, I have unfortunate news for you. Aiden Ross does not know. Amaranth and Aiden Ross do not know who you are, Brandon Q. I have bad news for you. I have bad news for you. And this might This might hurt your feelings. This might hurt your feelings, Brandon Q. But Amaranth and Aiden Ross don't know who you are, and you're not a celebrity. Brandon Q, if you were a celebrity and Amaranth and Aiden Ross knew who you were, you would not in a million years give a shit about my existence in any way, shape, or form. I can promise you, Brandon Q, you have not, even if you did, okay, I've talked to Keemstar technically. Technically, I've talked to Keemstar. I've talked to, what's his name? I've talked to Cog. I've talked to Cog, the guy who beat Ethan, the guy who orchestrated beating Ethan Ralph up in Portugal. I've talked to Keemstar. I've talked to Cog. I've talked to people out of my pay grade before, Brandon Q. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? What does that... I've talked to Keemstar and, what's it called? Cog, the guy who orchestrated. I've talked to Music Biz Marty. Like, I don't... What does this have to do with anything? Yeah, I've also heard rumors that Aiden Ross works for the Israeli government, and if anything, you get a kick deal from Eddie. You get a kick deal from Eddie. You don't get a kick deal from Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross doesn't give you a kick deal. Amaranth doesn't give you a kick deal. I'm 100% not on Kiwi Farms. I'm not on Kiwi Farms. You can't type my name in and find Tim Dooley. Tim Dooley might be on Kiwi Farms, but I'm not on Kiwi Farms. If I was on Kiwi Farms, I would have more consistent viewers than this. I would have more consistent viewers than this if I was on Kiwi Farms. And I guarantee you, if I'm on Kiwi Farms, it's the most pathetic thread ever, where it's just a bunch of fucking bootlickers. I guarantee you, if I'm on Kiwi Farms, it's a bunch of fucking bootlickers going, "Man, the government! Man, the government! Man, the government! The government and criminal record! Man, the government and criminal record!" I guarantee you, Tim Dooley, if anyone's on Kiwi Farms, it's Tim Dooley, because I've gone on the Kiwi Farms forum before. I've gone on the Kiwi Farms forum before and argued with Kiwi Farms directly on the Kiwi Farms forum. So I guarantee you that would have gotten me a thread before any of you guys got me a thread. So I guarantee you there's not a thread about me on Kiwi Farms, and I guarantee you if there were, it'd be the like modern new Kiwi Farms users that are just endlessly going, "Meh, meh, criminal record, meh, criminal record, meh, criminal record, meh, I hate people with criminal records." That's the only thing that Kiwi Farms... Exactly. Tim Dooley would have a thread before I do. Tim Dooley would have a thread before I do, and that's not even saying anything about Tim Dooley. That's just to say that, like, you people who endlessly harp on about people would talk about Brandon Q before you talk about me. Because if you had anything to say about me, it would just be you guys endlessly going, "He has a criminal record. He has a criminal record, and I don't like that he streams on the internet." This is the only thing that Kiwi Farms would have to say about me. The only thing that Kiwi Farms would have to say about me is the same shit that people like about me, which is like, "Man, I don't like that Francis has a criminal record. I don't like that Francis has a criminal record." That's the only thing that Kiwi Farms would have to say about me. The only thing that Kiwi Farms would have to say about me is, "I don't like that Francis has a criminal record. I don't like anyone that has a criminal record." Yeah, I'm the first person to ever prompt into Sora AI, Brandon Q. Wow, what a big brain statement from Brandon Q. Look at all of your weird AI videos. Brandon Q, I hate to break it to you, but I am the furthest thing from the first human on planet Earth to put a prompt into Sora AI. I'm like the furthest thing from the first human on Earth. I'm 1000% not on Kiwi Farms. I'll go look that up when I get a chance. I guarantee you I'm not on Kiwi Farms, and I guarantee you I don't have a bigger thread than Tim Dooley. I guarantee you I don't have a bigger thread than Tim Dooley, and I guarantee you I'm not on Kiwi Farms, and I guarantee you if by some stretch of the imagination there is a Kiwi Farms thread about me, it's a bunch of fucking modern Kiwi Farms users that are literal homosexuals, like literal transgender homosexuals. Fucking the furthest thing from the original Kiwi Farms user base would be the only people that would comment on a thread about me. And the only thing they would have to say is, I don't like that he has a criminal record. I cannot stand anyone that has a criminal record because I'm a bullshit ass retarded police officer and I can't stand anyone that has a criminal record, even though I voted for criminals. Even though I vote for criminals every time I cast a ballot, I can't stand anyone that has a criminal record. That's the only thing that Kiwi Farms has to say 90% of the time is, I just can't stand anyone that has a criminal record except for the people that I voted for. The only people that can have a criminal record are the people that I voted for. Brandon Q, you have been exposed on stream as a sex weirdo by Ganville. You were undeniably exposed on stream as a sex weirdo by Ganville. You were undeniably caught in 4K being a sex weirdo by Ganville. You were caught dead to rights being a sex weirdo, Brandon Q, by Ganville. No, Kiwi Farms does not keep track of criminals and archive it. That is 1000%. That was never the mission statement of Kiwi Farms. There was never a time where Josh Moon, who was a known associate of Moot, a period where Josh Moon was like, Kiwi Farms is made to document criminals. That was never in a million years the mission statement of Kiwi Farms. That Kiwi Farms has become a bunch of weird ass sex weirdos that go there and they lick the boots of the government and they go, I can't believe that there's people with criminal records. No one's allowed to have a criminal record in this bullshit two-tier justice system that's more of a social credit system than it is a legal system. And I just can't believe that anyone has a criminal record in this two-tier justice system that only arrests poor people. I can't believe that anyone has a criminal record in this two-tier justice system that only arrests poor people. So, no, no one gives a fuck about Kiwi Farms. No one is impressed by Kiwi Farms. I have 2,500 VR boxing wins. I could give a shit what Kiwi Farms has to say. And on top of it, I don't have a Kiwi Farms thread. I've gone to Kiwi Farms to tell Kiwi Farms what I think about them. Dude, yeah, it's so fucking retarded. Like, Kiwi Farms championed this kid diddler criminal president that we have, and they want to sit there and go, look at all of these poor people with criminal records. Look at all these poor people with criminal records. I can't believe in this two-tier justice system that there's poor people with criminal records. As they championed the fucking criminal kid diddler president that we have now. They sit there all day and they go, look, there's poor people with criminal records. Fucking Sensei Ledoux ass bullshit. It's a bunch of fucking Sensei Ledoux ass motherfuckers on Kiwi Farms going, look at all these poor people with criminal records, as they fucking vote in criminals. As they endlessly vote in criminals, they just sit there and go, all these poor people with criminal records. It's fucking retarded. You mean 4chan? The guy, the forum ran by Moot, who Josh Moon, the creator of Kiwi Farms, worked with? You mean the 4chan ran by Moot that worked with Josh Moon, who runs Kiwi Farms? Yeah, that 4chan. The 4chan ran by Moot that worked with Josh Moon that runs Kiwi Farms. That Moot, owner of 4chan, that worked with Josh Moon from the Epstein list. Okay, Moot from the Epstein list worked with Josh Moon, who runs Kiwi Farms. The guy who championed the criminal PDF president that you don't do anything about. You're sitting here making false accusations about a poor person when you're a confirmed sex weirdo, when you, Brandon Q, are a confirmed sex weirdo, sitting here making false accusations about a poor person. Number one, there's not even a Kiwi Farms thread about me. There's not even a Kiwi Farms thread about me. Number one, there's not even a Kiwi Farms thread about me. Number two, Kiwi Farms is a fucking failure of a website. Kiwi Farms is a failure of a website that is springboarded off of fucking Moot's bullshit, and Moot is on the fucking Epstein list. Moot is on the fucking Epstein list. Moot worked with Josh Moon. And Josh Moon is a known sex weirdo that ran 8chan, worked with Moot, and what's it called? Everyone on Kiwi Farms just sits around going, look, people with a criminal record, as they sit there voting for PDF criminals. Threads? Now there's threads. This guy's lying so hard that now there's threads. So, number one, there's not even a single thread about me. On Kiwi Farms, other than me dunking on Kiwi Farms via a Kiwi Farms account. The only mention of me on Kiwi Farms is me using a Kiwi Farms account to tell Kiwi Farms how fucking stupid they are. The only mention of me on Kiwi Farms is me talking shit about how stupid Kiwi Farms is via a Kiwi Farms account. There's just simply not. You're the one that said there was a Kiwi Farms thread when there simply is not. There simply is not a Kiwi Farms thread. If there was a Kiwi Farms thread about me, there would have been much more me dunking on Kiwi Farms users, because they'd be here trying to run their stupid fucking mouths, and I'd be here dunking on them all the time. There's just simply not a Kiwi Farms thread about me. The only mention of me on Kiwi Farms is me talking shit about Kiwi Farms via a Kiwi Farms account to Kiwi Farms users. That's the only mention of me on Kiwi Farms. The only mention of me on Kiwi Farms is me going on Kiwi Farms via a Kiwi Farms account to talk shit about how stupid Kiwi Farms is. But There's not a Kiwi Farms thread about me. And if there was, there would be much more retarded Kiwi Farms users here running their stupid fucking mouths, and I'd be dunking on them.
No, they don't.
They've never dunked on me once. I've dunked on them. I've dunked on them perpetually. I've been dunking on Kiwi Farms since before I've had a YouTube account. Since before I've had a YouTube account, I've been dunking on Kiwi Farms. And I assure you, if there was a Kiwi Farms thread about me, Brandon Q would be glued to it and he'd be reciting bullshit from it. But instead, he's using the generic script that he uses for everyone that there is absolutely zero information about on the internet, and he just blanketly starts calling them a sex weirdo when he is a confirmed sex weirdo. Brandon Q is a confirmed sex weirdo, and if there was a thread about me on Kiwi Farms, Brandon Q would be glued to it, and he'd be the #1 commentator on it, and he'd be reciting every bullshit thing that they come up with about me. And the fact that he's not doing that is proof that there's not a Kiwi Farms thread about me. No, that's not true. That's 100%. That's 100% not true. That's 100% not true. That's 100% not true. How am I trying to talk like IBL? How am I trying to talk like IBL? I just need to know how I'm trying to talk like IBL. So we're just circling the wagon. We're just circling the wagon now with bullshit accusations. We're just circling the wagon now with bullshit accusations. I'm not sitting here talking about what's it called? I'm not sitting here making like pseudo occultist like rant pro like through an Islamic lens rants. I'm not sitting here talking about what's it called, gender. I'm not trying to like draw things along gender lines. I'm not sitting here trying to talk through like a Islamic occultist lens. So I don't know what you mean trying to copy IBL. I'm not sitting here trying to draw the lines along gender. I'm not sitting here trying to talk through like occultist Islamic lens. I'm not sitting here trying to talk through an occultist Islamic lens. I'm not sitting here what's it called? Trying to draw things along gender lines. So, if you talk to Helsi, you can get out of here. You can get out of here if you talk to Helsi. All of you can get out of here. No one that is pro Helsi is allowed to be here. So you can get out of here. If you support the wrong people, you can also get out of here. You support the wrong people. You're not going to come here, and you can also get out of here, and you can get out of here, and you can get out of here. No one that is pro Helsi is allowed to speak in my presence. No one that is pro Helsi is allowed to speak in my presence. You're going to pay me to not work. If you're going to pay anyone to not work, you're going to pay me to not work. And you can get out of here too. You can get out of here too. You backed the wrong person, and you're not paying me to not work. So you got to start giving me money. You got to start giving me money. Brandon Q, you were exposed as a sex weirdo on live stream. You were, yeah, I am banning. I ban people. I ban people, Brandon Q. I ban people, and that's because you're not going to pay other people to not work, and then not pay me to not work. You're not going to pay other people to not work, and then not pay me to not work. Yeah, exactly. You got to pay up. You need to pay up. Otherwise, no talking. You need to pay me to not work. Otherwise, no talking. Pay me to not work. If you're going to pay anyone to not work, you're going to pay me to not work. And you're not going to talk. You're not going to come here and, be trying to chat casually with people that I don't like while not paying me. You're not gonna chat it up with people that I don't like while not paying me. Okay? Do you go to a restaurant and chat it up with people that the restaurant doesn't like without paying the restaurant? You get kicked out of the restaurant. You get kicked out of the restaurant if you walk into the restaurant and you start chatting with people that the restaurant doesn't like without paying the restaurant. So you're not going to pay me to not work when, no one else is going to let you fucking loiter without paying in a fucking capitalist society. No one's going to let you loiter without paying in a capitalist society. That's just not going to happen. You don't go to a restaurant and start chatting it up with people that the restaurant doesn't like. I don't give a shit. Get out of here. You're not allowed here. You're banned. You're banned, and I have the most VR boxing wins. You're banned, and I have the most VR boxing wins. I have the most VR boxing wins, and your people don't. Your people don't have the most VR boxing wins. I got bad news for you. I got bad news for you. I got news you may not want to hear. You might not like this news. This news might bother you. This news might disturb you, but I have the most VR boxing wins. So if you're going to pay anyone to not work, you're going to pay me to not work. If anyone's getting paid to not work, it's me. Otherwise, shit's going to keep being bad for you. Shit's going to keep being bad for you until you pay me to not work. Until you pay me to not work, shit's going to be bad for you. There's going to keep being consequences until you pay me to not work. It's what's going to happen. Okay? There's going to keep being consequences until you pay me to not work. Just so you know, just so it's not a mystery. Just so it's not a mystery to you, I ban people. Hey, just so it's not a mystery, I ban people. Just so it's not a mystery to you, I ban people. I ban people. Hey, just so it's not a mystery to you, I ban people. Just so it's not a mystery. Just so it's not a mystery to you, I ban people. So you better start asking me how to pay me money. You better start asking me how you're going to pay me to not work. You better start asking me how you're going to pay me to not work. That's what you should be asking me. You should be asking me how you can put money into my accounts. That's what you should be asking me.
Vean lo que te voy a decir. Ese parqueo mío.
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking about. You're talking about this like I know who you're talking about. You referred to the person as dude. Oh, Tim Dooley? Can I ban Tim, or can I send Tim Dooley a copyright strike? Yeah, I can send Tim Dooley a copyright strike. Yes, I can send Tim Dooley a copyright strike. And I'm not doing it for fun. I'm not doing it for fun. I'm doing it out of pure malice and hatred. I'm not doing it for fun. I'm doing it because Tim Dooley owes me money. Tim Dooley owes me, paying me to not work for the rest of my life. And that's why I'm sending Tim Dooley a copyright strike. I'm not sending Tim Dooley a copyright strike for fun. I don't do things for giggles because I'm not a piece of shit like you people. I don't do things for giggles. I do things because people deserve them. And Tim Dooley deserves a copyright strike. Tim Dooley hasn't given me a dime. Who the fuck are you to tell me I have to stand for what's right? Pay me to not work before you tell me anything. Before you tell me anything, pay me to not work. Don't try to fucking talk down to me. Don't try to give me any form of advice. Pay me to not work. You're paying other people to not work. Pay me to not work instead of talking bullshit. Instead of saying bullshit, pay me to not work. Exactly. Do I have a link? That's what you need to be asking me. You need to be asking me how you can pay me money. It's what you need to be asking me. Don't fucking come here and try to give me fucking advice. Don't try to tell me I need to do this. Don't try to tell me I need to do that. You're paying people to not work. Pay me to not work. You're paying people to not work. Pay me to not work. Don't fucking come here and try to talk. Don't try to talk to other people in chat. Don't try to talk to me. Ask me how you can pay me to not work because you've committed crimes against me and you're out there paying other people to not work and you're not paying me to not work. You're paying other people to not work and you're not paying me to not work. You're paying other people to not work and you're not paying me to not work. Fucking idiots.